Feels like a new chapter is coming. Feels like a new dawn. Feels like I have lived multiple lifetimes over the last few years. And I'm not even sure if I want to speak about it, to be honest. I'm not even sure if I mean, it doesn't matter. Wanting, not wanting, doesn't matter. Speaking about it doesn't seem as interesting to me anymore as it used to be. I used to think that waking up was different than it is. I used to think that it was supposed to give me something or take me somewhere or upgrade me. And it is true that it does upgrade us. Or it's almost like a downgrade or a reverse of sorts, like a regression back to... These rocks are very uncomfortable, by the way. I'm not finding a good spot to sit. There we go. It feels like a regression back into just what was never not the case. How I would define what waking up is being able to combine two things, being able to combine the mind's, or see through the seeker in the mind, see through the thing in the mind that needs constant stimuli, that is seeking stimuli all the time. To me, it's been like a vibration in the back of my head, and in the chest, perhaps in the gut as well. But what I have noticed mostly from just observing myself, my own experience, is seems to be a little bit of a tremor in the chest, almost like behind the solar plexus somewhere or behind the heart, and then it's spread up towards the neck. And every time that sort of shiver or tremor or shaking of sorts, it feels like it's happening inside the body, in the nervous system. Whenever that comes on, my mind starts to think, and my mind starts to look for things to satiate it, to satiate that sort of itch, if you will. And so it's really just seeing that there's something that feels off, because every time that tremor happens, something in the experience feels off. It feels like we'd rather be somewhere else than where we're at. At least for me, it feels like I have been wanting to be somewhere else. And I have been sort of identified with that. That tremor has created beliefs in me that I'm not safe where I am, that I need to be somewhere else, because there's been so much unsafety in the nervous system, creating that tension, that movement in the mind that I've been identified with, that I've been sort of, I've been grasping at that. I've thought that whatever those thoughts that created in the mind, that shiver, I thought that would be the thing that would make me feel okay, that would take that shiver away. But it took a long time for me to actually know that tremor in the nervous system was actually happening, because I was so eager to get away from myself that I couldn't feel it, because I didn't want to feel that, right? So I was occupied trying to not feel it by doing what the mind thought was going to make me free from said shiver. It's gonna make me free from that feeling of not being okay, or not being settled, or not feeling like I was worthy, or something like that, right? Like something was missing all the time, and it expressed itself in different ways. And I could start to feel that more deeply once my mind settled, because I was drawn to meditation for so long. And now it's like meditation doesn't really matter. I mean, it's great because we sort of shut the senses out in a way. Very paradoxical. It's like we shut them off but turn them on at the same time. It's like when we sit down and meditate and close our eyes, we can actually go seemingly inward, and we can learn to find these things that I'm speaking about. We can learn to observe them and be with them. But there's a second half to waking up as well, and that is just the purification of the body, of the nervous system, when this peace has been found, when this silence, when really awareness has been found, or just allowed, I guess. When we see that I am not the body comes and goes. I'm not the mind comes and goes. I am that which remains in between states, in between pleasure and seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. I am that which remains with all shifting states, thoughts, feelings, everything. So I must not be the mind either. I am something that is beyond both. It doesn't mean that I'm not the mind, it doesn't mean that I'm not the body. This is also what I am, but it's not what I am in my true essence. My true essence is unchanging. My true essence is formless, and everything that is mind, body out here is of form. It's changing all the time. So I am also that. I am also everything that is changing, but it's not only what I am. I'm also this which is never changing, this formlessness, this stillness, this silence. That form dances inside somehow, moves inside. So I'm not pushing away the movement, but for a while we have to sort of maybe do that, at least I did, push away the movement and form to see that it's not who I am. So I'm taking refuge from it for a while, and then we realize, but I'm also that which is moving. I am form and formlessness. I'm the body, I'm the mind, I am that which is aware of the two, but I'm not attached to any of them. Anyway, so when that is seen, we can return to the body, we can return to form, because there's something in us that is untouched by pain, something in us that is untouched by that shiver in the nervous system, by the tremors, by the feeling of black or whatever. That sits in the body-mind. So then when we have established ourselves in truth, or awareness, or stillness, or presence, or whatever you want to call that, we return, which we never left, but seemingly, we return to this which is moving all the time. We return to the body and the mind and the feelings, and we meet it with peace. We meet it with presence. We stay through the contraction, through the suffering, through the pain. And eventually there will be we will come to terms with the movement inside the body, with all the sensations, with all the sound, with everything that is moving. We will come to terms with that, and we will harmonize that, and eventually we will realize that everything that is moving and everything that is changing out here, I am not in control over any of that. I'm not in control over the aging of my body. I'm not in control over my mind. I'm not in control over what feeling is going to be next. I'm not in control over sensations moving, sounds happening. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not doing anything to uphold anything of that, and I'm not producing anything of that, and I'm not doing anything to change or move any of that. I am out of control completely. But I'm fine because I have stillness to rely on. before I couldn't do that, so I was terrified of being out of control. I couldn't think about that because then I would have like a panic attack. But now it's everything I've ever wanted. It's like those contractions and everything in the nervous system that I've been so terrified of being out of control. How long have I been going for, by the way? 11 minutes, cool. Those contractions and everything, they were too much to bear. They were too much to hold and carry when I wasn't established in presence. But when presence have established itself, there's no other option because it's what is appearing. So there's no other way. I can't not feel it, right? It's already being felt, even though I don't want to feel it. So all of that movement, for me, it started feeling, actually the resistance to the movement stopped almost 2 years ago now at our Vipassana retreat, a 10-day silent meditation retreat. I did that and I could start feeling, there was fear dropping from my lower gut, fear dropping downward, and I got sucked downward, it felt like, into my root. And I realized how much resistance I had been doing to the body and to myself, to my nervous system. I was somewhat established in presence, like I knew that I wasn't my mind, I knew that I wasn't the one thinking and whatever. So I guess I had the first half of waking up, but I hadn't embodied that. I hadn't integrated that, and I wasn't really walking the talk because I couldn't, because I was trying to avoid still bypass my shadow, the body, everything that is moving in form. There was so much suppression and so much resistance that I'm actually impressed of how much it was. It's taken almost 2 years since then to sort of learn to work with the energy in the body that has been moving. Learn to release, learn to just be present with the pain. Been a lot of hours sitting. I've been sitting more hours than I ever have in my life, and it's been awesome. But there's also been this part of myself like, is this what my life is going to be like now? I want to go back to doing things not in the same way I used to do. I used to do things to avoid feeling, but now I allow the doing to come forward from the feeling, from the movement. And I think it's a little bit of a transition of like returning to that again. But so the movement started in the root for me, and I could feel like something going up on the inside of my spine. And people may call this Kundalini or Shakti or Prana or whatever, life force, but it's just like the sensation of aliveness, like something is moving and it feels alive. And that was terrifying to me for a long time because there were so much distortions in the nervous system for so long, so much trauma. I had a very severe medical trauma as a child. I had epilepsy for 2 years, between 3 and 5.5 or whatever. So 2.5 years I was like heavily sedated with benzodiazepines, which is like the craziest thing to give to a child. And it was the heaviest benzodiazepine as well. So I was like sedated for 2 years, and like I couldn't run, I couldn't play, I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And that was something that obviously I knew about it, but it was something, that trauma I had suppressed for so long. So that fear and intensity and like death panic and grasping for air and all that, there's a part of me that remembers all the seizures I had. And I actually thought I was gonna die, but without knowing I was dying because I was so young, right? But that had been stuck in my nervous system for so long that I couldn't feel my body. So I just had to take like 2 years off from everything and just sit and be present with that until I realized, oh, there's some stuff here that I need to feel. And then that sort of the movement, the aliveness coming up from the root could start moving up the body very, very, very slowly, and purge and cleanse and harmonize all that fear and distortion and death panic and everything. And now it's been making its way up the heart, up the throat, up the head. And so it's really just learning to live just just here again, you know? Just being relaxed inward, being safe. Finally being safe on the inside, being relaxed inward and seeing that all of this that is happening is coming from me somehow. I have no idea how it works. I have no idea what this energy, how it works. Like I'm not in control over it. It's been healing me from the inside. It's been healing my body just by me remaining present, not doing anything, not grasping any thought, not doing anything, just being with it. I have no idea how that works. I have no idea what or how this silence is, where it comes from, but the purification of the body and the silence are not separate. Nothing is separate. Everything is just what is here. What is seen is just that, you know, there's no... The voice in the head is fading rapidly. And the thoughts about, like, looking at myself from outside somehow, how am I being perceived, and like, so exhausting, so much energy going into that letting go of that is the best thing that has ever happened. It feels like I've won the lottery to life, and I'm not here to like say that I have found something special, because this is really just our true essence when we allow ourselves to be still. So if you're watching this and think that you would want this, like, yes, it's what everyone truly wants. It's the only thing that will take away the feeling that something is off, that something is missing, that I'm unsafe, that we are unsafe on the inside, that I'm lacking or unworthy or a victim or whatever. It's like we stop feeling attacked by something because there's nothing that is attacking us anymore. The outer world and the inner world, they don't exist. It's just what is. It's just this. Anyone can do this. It just takes, for most people, some dedication, some time, and some willingness to see oneself exactly as we are. We need to face our pain. We need to face all our pain. There's no sugarcoating. There's no going around that. There's no love and light all the time. The spiritual bypassing that is going on. Even this, it doesn't feel like it's spiritual at all. It doesn't feel like I used to think about spirituality. I used to think it was like, you know, like, I don't know, something special, that I was special. And I'm not special, and spirituality is not special, because it's our birthright. We're literally born into, we're all of it. All of us are it, and it is all of us, right? So all that is required is for us to stay. But anyway, I just wanted to sort of share the journey over the last few years, and I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll maybe see you in the next one. Peace out.